No intro today, folks. We're gonna get straight into this. We're gonna be talking about my favorite game, Kingdom Hearts. This game has never been touched by anybody. Sweet Baby Inc., woke journalists, Kotaku, it never been insulted, at least until today.
Video game journalists do not care about this industry or the people within it at all whatsoever, and they constantly love to belittle individuals for simply enjoying an experience that they personally disliked. And now the gamer is going after Kingdom Hearts, saying Sora doesn't understand love, and it might be because of compulsory heterosexuality.
You gotta be kidding me. I'm 100% certain the release of either Kingdom Hearts 3 on the PS4 and recently on PC, nobody ever complained about it. I don't see any LGBTQ complain about it. I don't see any women complain about it. I don't see any men complain about it. Why now? That's the real question we have to answer. We have to ask ourselves that. Why now?
I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, we have heard a lot of absolutely ridiculous claims on characters and their sexualities and their identities, like Link. Oh my god, Link might be trans, Link might be gay, Link this, Link that, and now apparently they're targeting Sora. So they're saying in the Pirates of the Caribbean world, Davy Jones sees Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann, and moments later he says, "Ah, love, a dreadful bond and yet so easily severed." Sora jumps in response, "That's not true. I may still have a lot to learn about love, but I know what it means to share my heart with others." At this point in the series, Sora has met a lot of Disney couples like Belle and the Beast, Ariel and Eric, and Aladdin and Jasmine. The list goes on. And yet, for some reason, Sora still has a lot to learn about love. Maybe it's because Sora is a 15-year-old, so he's not actually going to be only focused on romantic love.
Now that is quite true. Okay, think about it. 15-year-old. You're probably in school, or in this case, middle school in my case. I don't know, I could be wrong. It could be different from you. To all my viewers here, have been in school, or present in this case, middle school. Have you experienced love on the age of 15? If so, tell me your experience in the comments.
A lot to learn about just the world in general. Now, yes, I do think that it's fine if they decided to ultimately start having him connect with a character on like a deeper level, and that character is a character in the future he might actually have some sort of like connection with. There are plenty of books that do that, especially fantasy books, right, where a younger character kind of falls in love with their first love, and then as the journey continues, you might see that blossom. But it's just pretty weird that, like, this is the major complaint. Sora's confusion about love is continued in a short story in the Kingdom Hearts Character Files book, where he has an internal monologue about watching Belle and the Beast dance. Thinking back on Cogsworth saying Belle and the Beast are in love, Sora asks himself, what the heck is true love anyway? What even is love to begin with? Belle and the Beast are pretty much the epitome of a fairy tale romance. They're a man and a woman, they're in love with each other. What else is there to get here? That's what our heteronormative society.
Before I let Veridoc continue, I'm gonna have to assume whoever write this article never experienced love. Generally, folks. Because right now, hear this? Close to lesbian. Lesbian and gay. Of course it is.
Other. What else is there to get here? That's what our heteronormative society wants everyone to think, but that's not always the case. Now, you really get into the reason why they decided to write this article, because they always have to make every situation about themselves. Growing up as a deeply closeted lesbian who didn't even really know gay people existed until I was in my teens, not knowing what love is or what it should feel like is something I have all too much experience with. I watched a lot of animated Disney movies growing up, and just like Sora, I saw these couples fall in love, but something just wasn't clicking when I watched them. I could never see myself in the position of Belle, Ariel, Jasmine, Aurora, or any of the princesses who fell in love with a prince. Love just felt alien to me, and as
okay, here's the thing. Whoever wrote this article, have you met people? Have you experienced love by, I don't know, your mom or your dad? No, genuinely. Right now, I think currently Hypnotic is making a video on how Death Stranding 2 highlights, I believe it's called the hypocrisy of video game journalists. No, wait, it's not. It's more so the divide between gamers and games journalists. in terms of boss fight. But you know what they say? Get good. I don't know how many times I fail against a boss fight. I lose count. Sometimes more than 30 or maybe 100. But that's besides the point. Look, don't forget, 15-year-olds could have experienced love or perhaps been a couple. I know some of my viewers who won't. I don't think one of you or any of my viewers who are watching this have done it, but I could be wrong on that. Again, if you have experienced love in the age of 15, tell me in the comments.
As an adult, I now know I was experiencing compulsory heterosexuality, an unconscious societal pressure to conform to heterosexual norms, which is what led me to feel isolated, confused, and like I was missing something when I looked at a heterosexual couple. Now, here we see this person shaming a creator for simply not confining Sora into a regular, singular romantic relationship from the start of the series. And what is especially rich about this is when people who are constantly talking about how harmful it is to label others, specifically when it comes to sexuality or identity, turn around and start labeling people as victims of compulsory heterosexuality, like they're saying if you're a woman in a heterosexual relationship, it's probably because you've been conditioned or pressured into it by society. I don't know, maybe most people who are heterosexual are because that is just kind of the norm for people. These are some of the people who argue that identity is personal and fluid and no one should assume anything about anyone else's orientation or choices. So how does it make sense to automatically assume someone is wrong or misled just because they've chosen something traditional?
Well, I think whoever, again, like I said, whoever wrote this article, Vera, I'm gonna have to assume, again, this is just my theory, I could be wrong on this. It's either a trans, lesbian, bisexual, who never experienced love, or perhaps never experienced love in their own peers. That's my second theory. Or perhaps they never experienced love. This is the first one. They never experienced love with their family. Also, I had to ask, heterosexual? Who the hell even says that anymore? No, generally, folks, who uses that word today? Who uses the word heterosexual in this year? Generally, I had to ask.
In mind that we are talking about a 15-year-old character here, and I think that it is perfectly fine to kind of dissect how they act and their emotions and things like that, but it just seems very odd to me that they've chosen this character out of all of them. But when it comes down to it, the gamer is just a site filled to the brim with activists who are not actually worried about giving gamers good pieces of content to read about. They're more worried about what agenda can I push to you today.
And you wonder, why did these game journalists were laid off, or even better, they scream at the top of their lungs, complaining why gamers are, I don't know, sexist, racist, homophobe, transphobe, or bigot. Seriously, video game journalists, these grifters, they're not responsible for your failure, okay? You guys did it to yourself. It's not their fault, okay? You woke journalists are the one that created these grifters, such as Vera Dark, Smash GT, Atreus. These people, it's not their fault that you're getting roasted to high heavens. No. Don't use that. These grifters, Vera Dark, Atreus, Hypnotic, Smash JT, all they have to do is look all of your dumb tweets, all of your dumb articles, and your dumb videos, pull them all together, stir it up, and look at it to see how moronic you are in front of everyone to see. It's not their fault. You woke journalists are the one that did it to yourself. It's true, and that's what really happens. You do it to yourself. Where is it? Where can I skip?
What agenda can I push to you today? Of course, one of the major pieces that I've talked about in the past when it comes to character sexuality is from, of course, the gamer, but it says The Legend of Zelda has always been queer. This was written back in 2023, and it was by a different journalist, but they still all clearly are of the same mentality and they're still reaching the same audience. It says, though Nintendo has often been quick to shut down the assumption of LGBTQ plus characters or themes in its game, the most recent example being Shiver in Splatoon 3. Companies like Nintendo have plenty of reasons to hide away queer themes, typically because they want to avoid controversy or confrontation, and have traditionally been more likely to mock queer themes than embrace them.
Who in their right mind would think Nintendo mocked queer their themes. They're trying to make money. They're not trying to push a political agenda. Do you know what happened with Concord? How did that end up? Diversity and attractive female character, all these two things, they're only cherry on top. How exactly are you going to make a good cherry, or perhaps to put a good cherry in a cake that is rotten? Same goes for video games. How exactly are you going to put either a diverse character or an attractive, appealing characters if the game sucks? If you make the game that can be playable, no bugs, no issue, no server crashes or crash to desktop, not even performance issues, and people will buy your game whether or not it has either diverse characters or appealing and attractive characters. They will buy the game en masse if you respect them, which I'm probably going to get some insight. What am I going to do on my gaming Let's Play? I'll get it soon. Not every game can have a love scene or perhaps a sex scene or whatever. People are playing a game. They're not watching a movie, okay? When it comes to this, attractive, appealing characters, diverse characters, and love scene, these three be the cherry on top. How can you make a game? Yes, again, another cake analogy. How come the cake is rotten but the cherry on top of them is delicious, is good? Now you know why game journalists is going to be fade into irrelevancy sooner or later. And right now, most of them are now starting their YouTube channel only to find out it is harder than they anticipated, since many of these journalists continue to, I don't know, mock gamers, mock YouTubers. Now they get the taste of their own medicine. I don't know if this tactic is gonna work. I'm gonna test this on my gaming Let's Play, and I'm doing my third channel. I decided when it comes to gaming Let's Play, I believe what I do is probably create that Let's Play series a refuge, an escape. Because I know most people who is a fan of either the Arkhamverse or Marvel Spider-Man or even Alan Wake, I know those fans is probably going to see videos that don't, I don't know, alienate them, insult them, create a safe refuge. Yes, even though what people say gaming Let's Plays is saturated, but it will not if you time it, plan properly. Oh no, you woke LGBT idiots, you're not touching Sora, okay? Sora is 15. I think by the time he got, or perhaps by the time Kingdom Hearts 4, he's probably like what, 20 years old? And don't forget, this is Asian we're talking about. Similar with Stellar Blade, I don't think many Asian movies, such as Japan or South Korea, have love scene, sex scene, or whatever it is. They don't have it. Even if there is, it's probably rare to see.
Will the memory stick be destroyed? Because it's already contaminated.
No, it won't be.
In that case, I'll be floating among the stars to space.
Taki! I promise, Taki.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want woke or anti-woke detected, or you just want to see me play games, or perhaps you like trending topics. Visit my second, third, and fourth channel up here or link in the description.